area to replicate that index around a physical track, right? So that the platter, the disk platter spinning, right, doesn't have me waiting a long time, right? And in addition to that, I could bring the index from that points to the highest keys on my control area. I could bring that down to where the data is. So when my arm's there, it's there. I go looking for data. I don't have to move it that far. Right? This all, since it's a mechanical function we're playing with, this all translates out to response time. Yes?
What happens if there's something written on the disk in that spot which would cause you to have to move your head?
Okay, what VSAM does is make sure that these areas are pre-allocated. So when you define the cluster, he allocates that, and he controls that. So the situation, the question was, what happens if there's something there where you want to move it to, right? And the answer is, when I tell VSAM to define the cluster prior to loading it, VSAM's going to go out and find space that's unallocated to any data set, right? Contiguous space, my primary allocation, and then he's going to set this up and carve it up, right? Initially, such that all the data is contiguous, and then thereafter he's just maintaining that. So you're not going to, by design, you're not going to run into that situation.
On the disk itself, you're going to replicate the index around the disk.
Right.
It's going to read till it finds a complete track that's empty.
Yeah, the question was, do I read till I find a complete track that's empty? By physically being on that track, what VSAM will do is prevent anyone else from putting any data on that track. So he's managing. Again, we have said that somewhere on a disk pack, I say, hey, VSAM, you know, here's a pack, we'll call it volume 5, right? And somewhere I'm saying from here to here, VSAM, you own and you manage. And he's going to make sure that no one else gets anything in there except by going through him. And if you're going through him, you're not going to wind up with a problem of data crossing paths. Okay, because he owns it. Okay, so replicate and embed, 2 performance options. Okay, catalogs. 2 kinds of catalogs. One, the MVS integrated catalog facility, which is what most people today are using in an MVS environment. And a second catalog structure is the old VSAM catalog. And you can use that today. You are using that on VS1 or VSE or VM now. All right? Now, the way the integrated catalog works, it simply says, rather than just having VSAM keep track, a catalog in VSAM keeping track of only VSAM files, right? Why don't we try to integrate all the data that may be on that pack, because VSAM may not own that whole pack, right? Lots of other people, lots of other access methods. You could find some DB2 space here, some sequential space, right? Whatever the scenario may be, you could find multiple people using that pack, right? And what you want to do is make it easier for everyone to get